All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Golf Ballin' YouTube channel. I'm your host Jackson here for today. We're going to be talking about the LIV a little bit more. So earlier today, Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau, and Ricky Fowler all announced that they will be leaving the PGA Tour to join the LIV Golf League. So Greg Norman, Saudi-backed, like literally Saudi government-backed. The Saudi government is backing this. I've never seen anything like this ever before. I kind of made a video a couple of days ago talking about the basics about this, but with that being said, we're still in the early stages of this. So I have a tweet here sent in from Golf Ballin' Sean actually, but this is from Lou Stagner. Some info he's hearing, good source, but these could be wrong. So take these with a grain of salt. Tour waiting until players hit first shot tomorrow in London before announcing suspensions, which we kind of saw coming. Suspensions will be years, not months, which I also think we saw coming. LIV planning 15 events next year. That was the goal. That was something we talked about in our last video was, the goal is to get it from 8 to 12 to 15. So if you were to ever get world golf ranking points from playing in the LIV golf event, if the majors didn't ban you, which we'll talk about in a second here, it's 15 events. That's 15 events right there. That's the minimum amount you have to play on the PGA Tour. So it's kind of almost the same schedule. I guess there's just more options with the PGA Tour because it goes year round. But here's the purpose of today's video. The Masters will ban LIV golf players. Now, the Masters is interesting. One thing we've been talking a lot about is how the USGA holds a lot of power. They came out and they said, just because you're playing in the LIV doesn't mean you can't play at the US Open. So that's how it stands right now for the US Open. But they were kind of like the first major. They're clearly the first major. It's next week, the US Open, where they had to make a stance on it. They had to come out and they had to make a stance. So to hear that the Masters will most likely be banning players from playing on the LIV, which, keep in mind, the Masters is the one major where it's an invitational. So if you have won the Masters before, i.e. like 4 or 5 players who are currently signed up to be in the LIV Tour, you have Patrick Reed, you got Phil Mickelson, you got Dustin Johnson, Louis Oosthuizen. You have some names there, right? So, banning. I mean, the PGA Tour, they're not a part of the Masters. Augusta National, it's their own golf course. It's their own country club. It's their own thing. They can make the rules. I don't understand why the Masters would not want to have some of the best, most iconic golfers like Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson to be at your event. Now, clearly the Masters, it's such a big tournament where, if they didn't have Phil, if they didn't have DJ, if they didn't have Bryson, the rest most people don't really care about. Sorry, guys. But, those are kind of the big 3 names that people are looking at. Reed, Fowler, Kevin Na, maybe you sprinkle them in there, but they definitely don't have as big as fan followings or just even publicity as Bryson, the big 3. Bryson, DJ, and Phil Mickelson. I have a hard time believing that this is actually going to come to fruition. Because I think if they do, I think they're genuinely making a big mistake. We've seen some guys like Kevin Na resigned from the PGA Tour, which legally kind of opens you up to, if you were to get suspended for years, it kind of it leaves the door open for a possible comeback to the tour. Phil Mickelson said, no, F that. I'm not resigning from the tour because I think with my tour career, everything I've accomplished, I've earned the right, I've earned the status to play in the majors, to play in these events, which I can't disagree with him. Phil Mickelson's one of the best golfers of our generation. I mean, what does he have? 11 second-place finishes in majors? That's an unreal statistic. I mean, that is an unreal statistic in its own. So tomorrow, we're going to know a little bit more because tomorrow is June 9th, which means the LIV golf event in London will be officially starting. So we're going to see more about suspensions. But keep in mind, I'm trying to prepare you guys. Suspensions are going to happen. Where it's really going to get interesting is the legal battle because there's going to be a long, complicated, confusing legal battle that's going to be at play with both of these tours. I am not a lawyer, as you can tell, in my mom's basement. I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to be interesting. It's going to get dicey, but I can't imagine that they're going to be fully able for lifetime bans. I have a hard time believing that's how that's going to go down. The Masters is big. No Phil, no DJ, no Bryson, no Reed, no Ricky, no Oosthuizen, no Westwood. It's interesting. I really genuinely don't really know what to make up for it. You're going to have people sue because, you know, Augusta, if you win, the tradition is that you are always invited back. So those guys, Reed, DJ, Phil, legally, I guess legally, they're always invited back. So you're going to have some of these people, Phil's camp, all these camps, they're going to be PO'd about not being able to play in the Masters. I don't know when the Masters announcement will be coming out. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow when the PGA Tour announces their suspensions, or they kind of have like their set plan on if you play in the LIV, we are suspending you, lifetime ban or what have you. Maybe it happens tomorrow. Obviously, the Masters isn't until April, and it's only June, so we're like over 10 months away. I guess maybe a little less than 10 months away from Augusta, from the Masters. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this stuff plays out. This is a very crazy thing to just happen in the golf world in general. This would be crazy in any sport. My stance on it, I'll probably keep making a ton of LIV golf videos where you'll hear more about my stance. As you know, I have Golf Ballin' on Instagram. PGA Tour won't even let me post a video of me recording Max Homa duffing a shot. I got banned from posting for like a week because I posted on my phone a video of the PGA Tour watching golf of Max Homa duffing a shot. They're like, nope, we're all set. This belongs to us. So I can see some of the issues, especially with the media rights that Phil Mickelson has alluded to in the past. I think competition is good for the game of golf, but I definitely don't want to see bans. I don't want to see suspensions. I would rather the PGA Tour let it be, but obviously that's not in their best interest. However, I am fine with people going out there, joining the Saudi League, you know, trying to get that generational wealth. $125 million. I mean, no player has ever made $125 million. I think I said 1,000. $125 million to DJ, like, you know, from a financial family situation, it's kind of hard. And one of the things I talk about a lot in our podcast is like, what if this money, because this was originally the PGL, it was going to be the Premier Golf League, and this was European-backed money. So if this wasn't blood money, if this was European money, legit money is basically the point I'm trying to say, I don't think people would be having as much of an issue with this as they are right now with Saudi, because, you know, Saudi Arabia, I don't know too much about it. From what I've read, from what I've gathered, it's definitely not the best country in the world. The U.S. government still does work with them, so it's like I've been seeing a lot of people say, well, if you're mad that golfers are going to join the LIV, wouldn't you get more mad at the PGA Tour? Like, shouldn't you be mad at the U.S. government for working with Saudi Arabia? So there's just so much at play right now. I don't think a lot of people understand, and it makes sense because it's not like there's a clear cut, this is how shit's going down. Like, it's a very complicated, confusing, we don't know what's going to happen next. So I will try my best to keep you guys updated as often as I can. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for more Golf Ballin' videos, and most importantly, go ahead and drop some comments down below. What are your thoughts on this? I don't care if you think I'm an idiot, if you think I'm hitting the nail on the head, go ahead, drop some opinions down below.